Hello.
Hey, Ronnie, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Bonita, are you ready to talk this morning?
Yeah, I guess.
How are you
I
feeling?
got 5,000 things to do,
Oh, well, I won't keep you too long then.
but okay.
Are you really busy with the comp?
Yeah, I'm doing laundry and everything, and I guess for the Christmas Eve, I got to get some more presents.
Yeah. Are you going to be traveling at
Uh,
all? Will you stay there for Christmas?
what's that?
Are you traveling or will you stay there for Christmas?
No, I'll be here.
Okay. Well, let's just go back to when you started in the dance business. I know that you went to the University of Cincinnati
Yeah,
for architecture, is that right?
right.
And how long did you go there?
Just a year.
Okay, so you didn't get
I
very
ran,
far.
I ran, I ran out of cash and came down to visit to Washington to visit my sister, and ended up doing the dance stuff.
And you worked for Arthur Murray there, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And then when did you go into the Navy? Was that in between?
1962, yeah.
So you
Yeah, when I came down, when I started working for Arthur Murray, I was there for 4 years, and then went into active duty with the Navy for 2 years active and 5 years reserve. And when I got back out, a lot of the chain studios had sort of gone down the drain, and a lot of independents were
uh-huh.
opening up. So I went into business. I started to work for Terry Gregory.
Oh yes, Terry Gregory was one of my first teachers. I took lessons with him in D.C. and I did that professional student teacher competition they had one year in Cherry Hill with him.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay.
Uh-huh. So
Yeah, I remember.
was that the Feather and Three at the time?
Yeah, Feather and Three, right. And I was there for 4 years, and then with 2 other people, with Al Franz and Jeffrey Feld.
Okay. But
And
what
then
sort
I
of
bought them out, and I changed it to Chevy Chase Ballroom. I just started to go crazy with the international style, and they took the Feather and the Three. Feather and Three.
So were you an owner there?
No, I was an employee.
Okay. Now where does Glennis fall into this? Did you meet her at Arthur Murray's or after you left?
No, they started all those ISTD competitions in Atlantic City,
Right.
and she and I drew names for to dance in one dance competition.
It was
So
Jack and Joe, right?
that's right. And I was living in Washington at the time, and Venice was working out of Philadelphia.
Was she with Arthur Murray then?
Yeah, she was with Arthur Murray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we got together and we danced in that one-day competition thing, and we won. And
Was that Latin? What style were you doing then?
was that
What style were you dancing then? Was it Latin?
international Latin? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And at that time, what's his name?
Larry Silvers?
Larry, and his wife.
Was it Larry Silvers?
Larry Silvers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Freddie and Larry Silvers. He was managing the Arthur Murray there in Philadelphia, and he said, "You two should try to see if you can get a partnership going."
Mm-hmm.
So that's how Glennis and I met, and then we started dancing together. Then she finally moved down from Philadelphia to Washington
Mm-hmm.
with her family. She had 3 children at that time.
Oh, she was a busy lady.
Yep. She's a fun girl.
So do you have some fun stories about you and Glennis?
The only one that comes to, whenever people ask me that, the one that jumps out to mind, that brings to mind is we were doing some work on the East Coast, and I was doing some work with the skaters up in the Lake Placid.
Uh-huh.
And we went up to Lake Placid to work with the ice dancers. And while we were up there, we did a show. And we had to come back because we had a hotel room booked to do a workshop in, I guess it was Philadelphia. And so we had the name of the hotel. So we did the show in Lake Placid for the skaters. And we wanted to get out and get down and get some sleep in the hotel that they booked us in for this other thing we were doing. And so we just hopped in the car. Dennis didn't take her makeup off or anything. We just hopped in the car after the show and took off for Philadelphia to hit this hotel. When we got to the hotel, that the group that was having us down there, they booked us in this hotel. It was a motel. And as we soon realized, it was sort of a very active motel. People were checking in and out every 2 hours. And the owners of the motel were doing laundry at 2 in the morning. It was really weird.
How funny.
So we walked in to get our reserved room, and Glennis still has her makeup on, which she forgot about. She got the false eyelashes and everything, and so they took her for a lady of the night.
Oh, I was going to say, they probably thought she was a hooker.
So it really shocked them when we asked for 2 rooms.
How funny.
that sort of rings a bell, but otherwise it was pretty straightforward. We never had any catastrophes.
Well, that's good. That's kind of rare.
Yeah, the guy behind the counter, when we asked for 2 separate rooms, he looked at us like a little bit, like, I don't know.
Like you didn't quite fit in there with their crowd.
Exactly. Except that Glennis had her false eyelashes and everything on, so
yeah.
She fit in.
Well, you have a very funny story you told me one time about Terry Gregory, and was the studio under surveillance for something?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. What was it? Terry Gregory had just ordered some dresses from London to sell to his students, and when they came in this box, he was in the main ballroom, and he held the dresses up to himself and danced. He wanted to see how the dresses moved,
Right.
And in walks this officer doing some kind of legwork. I don't know what he was there for. And and then when he walked in, Terry Gregory was dancing around the floor with these dresses hanging in front of him.
That's funny. I thought there was something going on with somebody who had some connection to the studio, that they were watching the studio. Maybe I got the story wrong.
I can't quite remember the whole story.
Yeah. It's a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you and Al and who else opened the Danceland studio with you, Jeffrey?
Yeah, when we opened the Danceland studio, it was me, Al France, Jeffrey Fells, and a guy named John Clark. And we were all ex-Arthur Murray from Washington. Mm-hmm. And then John Clark and Al France had a falling out. So John left, and Al left the 3 of us. Mm-hmm. And we were on Columbia Road in Washington. And then the 3 of us, it was with Feather and 3, it was Al France. When it was Feather and 3, it was Terry Gregory, Bill Shelton, and Vito Policelli. Remember Vito?
I remember the name. I don't think I ever met him.
Well, they were the 3 Feathers. And I was there for 4 years, 3 or 4 years. Mm-hmm. And that's when Jeffrey Fells, Al Franz, and I and John Clark got together to open Danceland.
Now, how long had Jeffrey Fells been in the States then? Do you know?
I'd say maybe about a year, 6 months to a year. Yeah. He was with Fred Astaire, I think.
Oh, was he?
In Washington, yeah. And Al Franz was I think, guess maybe it was Fred Astaire with him. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. So then when did you start the Yuletide Ball?
Well, it started out as a celebration of the dance studio, Danceland. It was our 20th anniversary. And so we just had a big dinner and dance for that anniversary for the studio. And a lady friend of mine, Ellen Lepper, she was a teacher. She said, you ought to run a dance competition over New Year's. Yeah, this was October. She said, you should next year run a dance competition.
Mm-hmm.
She said, maybe take it to the New Year's weekend, New Year's time. So we did that. And it worked out. So we kept doing the Yuletide Ball.
And now you're still involved with that to some degree, right?
Just to do errands and do different things, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be my last year.
So how have you been how are you feeling these days?
I ride this wave of tremors and sometimes some weakness, but
Mm-hmm.
I survive.
Mm-hmm.
I've got several people that help me out.
And you've been dealing with this for quite some time now.
I'd say about 8 years, yeah.
Yeah. Now, you had told me at one time the doctor you were seeing had you taking some supplements with aloe and some natural vitamins that helped you.
Yeah, it was a student of mine. She's a nutritionist,
Mm-hmm.
and she was involved with I think it was either Georgetown or George Washington University.
Mm-hmm.
Black Catholic. I'm not sure which one it was, but she was developing with other people a natural medicine clinic, and so she was involved with that. And she's a nutritionist, and she just moved to North Carolina. But I'm just not sure. I feel that it helps me.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm not sure.
So it kind of comes and goes. You have your good days and not so good.
Exactly.
But you still teach though, right?
I teach 1 day a week.
Mm-hmm. So back when you started, where did you have to go for training? Because there wasn't that much, I'm sure at the time, there weren't as many coaches in the country as there are now.
Well, when I started dancing, I was with the Chain Studio for 4 years with Arthur Murray, and then with ISTD.
Mm-hmm. But as far as your private coaching for you and Glennis, did you go to England?
Yes, we did. We went there for a month, and Al Franz, Jeffrey Fells, we all went over. Before I met Glennis, we all went over to England to work with Maisie Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
She was an excellent coach by the book. She helped write the book.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next year, we all went over and took our exam. No, that year we took our exams. And the next year we went over to compete.
Mm-hmm. So was this the same time that Bill and Bobby Irvin were coming to the United States, coming to the Arthur Murray schools?
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
So there were quite a few of you in different groups, I guess, that were going at the same time.
Right. Well, it was when the Chain Studios sort of folded. Everybody dispersed and opened their own schools, so it became sort of a nationwide thing of people being independent.
Yeah. So did the schools at the time in the Washington area all shut down?
Yes, for a while they opened back up.
Yeah. Nick Tice had a few schools in that area. I used to go there a lot for Arthur Murray.
Uh-huh.
But now that's more recent years, so I don't know the history before that.
Well, it was the Arthur Murray studio in Washington. They were taken to court for not fulfilling their obligations on the lifetime courses.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where they sold these so many hours of lessons and parties and everything, and they weren't they weren't doing their end of the bargain.
Yeah, well, that was back in the old days. I remember hearing stories about that.
Yeah.
They obviously stopped doing that. But when I bought my studio, they called us in before we got our license and said, "Now you don't sell any of those lifetime courses." And I didn't even know what they were at the time.
Right.
But you know, when Sam Sedano bought Columbus, there were still some students on those lifetime memberships where they still got a lesson every week or whatever the arrangement was.
Yeah.
So I guess there's some leftovers from those days.
Well, when Veteran 3 opened, the Arthur Murray closed them down for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They took them to court, and Veteran 3 won. So that was, I think it was one of the first studios to win over Arthur Murray in the court system.
Well, now, was that because some of the teachers had left and opened the school?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it had to do again with the lifetime courses, you know.
Okay. So now the school that was Danceland is now Chevy Chase Ballroom?
That's right.
And so who's running that school now?
Arena, Peru, I can't pronounce it.
You can't pronounce the name?
Yeah. It's Arena and Gary Geckman.
And Gary Geckman, yeah, he's there.
Yeah, but he finally left. And now it's just Arena.
Mm-hmm. And is that where you do your teaching?
Yes.
Are you still doing any judging? I know it was a few years ago that we judged together, and I hadn't seen you since then. Are you still doing some?
No, I can't handle anything that has stress.
Yeah.
And then you have to quickly bring people back and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I just start shaking.
Well, and the noise bothers you too, doesn't it? If the music is too loud.
No, I never had a problem with that.
Okay, because I thought, you know, at dinner time you said it was just a little too loud. Maybe there was just too much going on.
Yeah, right. It was at the time, yeah.
So how do you handle the holiday stress? Are you feeling stressed now?
You know, I go into these fits of, I just can't do this, to, yes, I can get it done.
Yeah.
You have to use techniques
Mm-hmm.
to calm me down.
So would you just self-talk, or what do you do to help yourself through those times?
Try to meditate.
Uh-huh.
Slow down. Just try to. You have to get rid of the process, the negative processes going through in your mind.
Yeah.
It involves yoga and exercises.
Uh-huh.
I try to keep what we say is put on a happy face.
Yes.
And it does help. It changes your attitude.
Uh-huh.
But what I don't want to happen is to fall into the depression.
Right.
The depression regimen that they put you on pills and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm going to try to stay away from.
So you're not taking any of those kind of medications?
Well, I take what the heck's the name of it? Wait a minute. It's called Cinemet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the only sort of recognized medication that what it does is it replaces the just like a shake now when I think about it. The dopamine. It replaces
Okay.
dopamine that your brain is not
producing.
Producing, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you're very strong and very determined and disciplined, and I'm sure that's helping you a lot to deal with this.
It does. It does. And I moved into the senior citizen place where they had, it's not cheap, but they have everything here. Everything you want to do, you could do it here without going outside the campus.
Yeah.
They've got medical, they've got delicious food. The food is excellent. And
well, that's important.
They have three big dining rooms and a deli and a grocery store.
Wow.
And a huge swimming pool and all kinds of stuff to go with it, exercises.
Yeah.
And so that helps. I'm in a one-bedroom sort of condo type place.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I know you have a lot of things to do, but I'm glad we got a chance to talk, and I'm glad you're taking care of yourself so well.
It's great talking to you. I need that. I need connection.
Well, I will spread the word. Call Ronnie and say hi.
Wait a minute. Okay. All right.
All right. You have a really Merry Christmas, and have a good time at the comp this year.
Okay. Same to you. Thank
okay,
you.
Ronnie.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.